Welcome back. In this final session we will work on the green spectrum of our color wheel mixing project. Remember, on the inside ring we are mixing our regular color plus white to make a tint along the inside, then the regular color here in the middle, and the shade of the color adding black to it over here. So to get started for this spectrum you'll need the cool yellow and the cool blue. So I'm going to put a little cool yellow right here on my palette. Remember, you don't need very much. The cool yellow is the weakest color, so you'll need a little bit more of that than the cool blue. Likewise, the cool blue is your strongest color, and so you barely need any of that comparatively. Then I'm going to add a little white over here on the edge of my palette for mixing our tints, and a teeny bit of black for mixing our shades. Black's really powerful, so you really don't need much of it. Alright, now getting started, you're always going to want to make sure that your brush is clean and dry while you're painting. You should have your easel brush, your palette fully loaded up, a cup of water for your personal use at your table, then clean, clear water to share at your table, and an empty cup for your dirty water once you're done. I'm just going to dip right in here and get to my cool yellow and start with my pure hue color right here in the middle. Alright, that's my pure hue, and then I'm going to take a little pile of yellow up in the corner, add some of the white to it, and we'll get a tint of the cool yellow. The tint of the cool yellow, this lemon yellow, will be bright, vibrant, something you might want to use for stars or something like that. Alright, now once I add a little black to my cool yellow, it's going to turn a little greenish because there's a little green in black anyways. The color mixture that makes up black is very greenish, and you add a little black to the yellow, and this is the yellow that makes green. So you get kind of this, like, I don't want to say olive green. It's not really olive, it's not warm enough, but this kind of green color. Alright. So if you're looking for a muted green, sometimes, depending on your black, of course, and knowing your colors, you can do that. So there's the shade of our cool yellow. Now I'm going to take that cool yellow and add some cool blue to it to make this yellow green. Now as you make your yellow green, be real careful because the cool yellow is very weak and the cool blue is very strong. So you add a little bit of that cool blue in and you're going to extremely change your color. Now there's a nice yellow green. Paint that in my square here, or rather my area section. And there's my cool green. Notice always pulling my brush. Now if I take that and I add a little bit of white to it up on this edge, I'll get a tint almost like a lime green. So there's my tint of that yellow green. Alright, now wash my brush really well. Remember, between the tints and the shades, you really need to wash your brush well. Otherwise, you'll get muddied colors. You'll get grayish, muted colors, which we don't want to see. Okay, so here's my little teeny bit of black. Add that in. And again, it's going to dull the color. Okay, there's my shade of yellow-green. Alright, now I'll wash my brush again. I'm going to have to mix up a new pile of green because I've got this other one contaminated with my tint and my shade. So, wash my brush really well, take a blob of yellow, add a little teeny bit of blue to it, Get it to the right level of green. Now this one I want to be a little bit more to the green side than my first one, which was the yellow-green. And I'd say that's maybe even a little too much blue. So let's put a little bit more yellow back in. There you go. That's a nice green color. Now on my screen it's looking a bit dark, but this is actually a nice green apple green. Alright, take a little white, add it in to make a tint. Green apple tint. What's this going to look like? Remember, you want to thoroughly mix all of your color as you go through. Okay, there's my tint of green apple. Cleaning off most of my paint. I do go through a lot of paper towels. Probably not the best for the environment, but necessary. Oops. Sorry. I want to get my shade. I almost moved on. Okay, so here's a little black to get my shade of green apple. I'm almost out of my color there. Almost running out. Try to make sure you have enough of your, mix up enough of your color at the beginning, you don't run out as you're filling your last little bit in there. It's a little on the thin side, but we'll leave it there. You can see how that looks different from my other shades, but it's also looking different from my main color and of course my tints. Alright, now moving on, I'm going to grab some more yellow here and add my blue in. I'm almost equal parts now, maybe even a little bit more. Now this is a bluish green. It's actually a little bit too far blue-green to call it really like a turquoise. Turquoise I always think of as a little bit more in between. Emerald green maybe here. Alright, so there's my like emerald green color. Add a little white. And the white will make it a little bit more turquoisey. Now if I add a little blue into that, it would even turn a little bit more turquoisey color. This is like sea foam green. Okay, and last shade of the blue-green here. My water's getting kind of too dirty. It's not washing my brush out, so I need some fresh water, or relatively fresh water. Alright, a little black for the shade. And again, I'm barely having enough paint to put in my rectangle here, my rectangular area here. So follow my advice, do as I say, not as I do, and make yourself enough paint for your little sections here. Alright, and last but not least, going back to our pure color. Taking my cool blue, painting it right in the middle here. And take a little cool blue, I should put it up here, so I'm running out of room. Get some white to mix with it for my tint, which this is, I gotta say, this is one of my favoritist colors here. Whoops. Ah! The woes of having a dirty palette. I just got some yellow in there, but this blue is like sky, bright greenish blue, sky blue. Love that color. Alright, and then last but not least here on my picture, the shade of cool blue, which just like the other blue is really, it's going to look almost like black on the screen or in the video. You'll just have to take my word for it that it's actually looking bluish, but this blue, cool blue with black is almost looks like Prussian-y blue. It's like a greenish, shade-ish color of that blue. It's like almost like Prussian blue, even though Prussian blue is a hue. It's not a shade exactly, but it is got a little bit of neutrality in it. So there we go. There is our finished color wheel. Now on the inside here where I have the mixed yellow, mixed red, mixed blue, if you want to fill that out, you can in the same kind of manner, taking the two blues and mixing them. It'll give you something in between, almost like a cerulean blue, or this yellow will be somewhere in between the two. So if you want to do that, that's fine if you've got extra time, but I just wanted to work mostly on these pure hue, tints, and shades there. So that concludes our color wheel with tints and shades.